Hi, thanks for coming. My name's Julia Benita Sullivan. I'm the Public Affairs Director for the County of Hidalgo. And the reason we put together this news conference during this very important 2014 South Texas Hurricane Conference and Mass Fatality Planning Conference is because, you know, even with a light season predicted, all it takes is one storm. And mass fatalities don't just happen with major catastrophes like storms and weather. It can be a car pileup. So it's important that we know how to deal with all these things. So we've got some of our experts here available to you all to talk about the importance of preparedness and what happens maybe when we're not prepared, and also to give you, mostly to give you an opportunity to ask them questions. We're going to start out with David Gruber, who's the Assistant Commissioner for the Division of Regional and Local Health Services with the State Department of Health. David, thank you.
Thank you, and good morning to all. I would like to say I'm honored to be down here. I'm based out of Austin, but honored to come down to the Valley to participate in this conference. I can't stress how critical this gathering is. When you talk about the idea of a hurricane, when you talk about mass fatalities, the response to those type of horrible situations doesn't come together automatically. It comes together when a group of professionals get into a room, they talk about the things that could happen, and they talk about how they're going to affect their response to those incidents. And right now what you have in this room are the people that can make it happen. Everybody down in the Valley should feel very comfortable that this meeting is taking place, about the significance of it, of the fact that coming out of this meeting will be a much better prepared area, will be a much better prepared group of first responders, and will be a much better prepared community. So with that, if there are any specific questions, I would be more than happy to take them and or give you any other information that you're interested in. Yes, ma'am. And the question, why do we need to be prepared? Why do we need to just not come and, you know, as is? Why can't the your down the street fire department or your down the street police department appropriately respond? And it's because when you look at a large scale event and even a medium event, the intricacies associated with an effective response are huge. Until you really get involved in it, until you see all the pieces moving, you don't realize how complicated a response is. And when you have that many moving pieces, it just doesn't happen automatically. It happens with a lot of planning, a lot of training, and a lot of exercise, and a lot of people who know what they're doing, but know what they're doing and make sure they know how to coordinate that effort with others. Okay. And I appreciate that question. That's a fantastic question. A response to a large-scale event is not only a first responder response. It's a community response that starts at the individual level. Every community health department or emergency management organization has a checklist of things that an individual can do to get ready for an event. And it's either on a website or through interactions with those community preparedness professionals. But I would not only stress, I would just ask from the bottom of my heart that everybody who lives here, works here, or commutes through here prepares on their own, in addition to relying on the first responders to prepare too. Thank you very much.
I'm Oscar Montoya. I'm the Emergency Management Coordinator for the County of Hidalgo. First of all, thank you all for being here. This situation that we have going here, this conference, is like Mr. Gruber said, it's about bringing people together. It's about making sure that we're prepared, not only as the government agencies, but our people as well. Make sure that all of us, you know, you're talking about the 3-county area you're talking about 45 different agencies sending out information. So you can understand what it's like to try and get it all going in the same direction. So the best way we can do that is put something together like this, which was largely funded by the state health services. They saw the need down here and jumped in to help us out. We appreciate that. But the idea is to make sure that we all meet together so that we're sending the same message. And that's what's going on here. We have different departments, agencies. We have everybody here from the legal department, purchasing, public works. We have our precincts, elected officials, emergency management, police, fire, you name it, they're out there. Finance. And the idea now is that when somebody asks them, when a citizen asks, that we have the same message and that we are all pulling in the same direction. Because when you pull in the same direction, things get done a lot easier, a lot quicker, more efficiently. This also helps, believe it or not, with making sure that we spend our funds efficiently, that we're not wasting equipment. It allows your cities and your county and your state to put the equipment towards one goal and use it in unison. So if one city has a piece of equipment and another city doesn't, and we need to find a way to get it over there, we contact that city, they help each other out, and that way we're not burdening the citizens with more funds. So that's what this is geared towards working together. We thank you all for the message. I want to reiterate what Mr. Gruber said about it only takes one. The judge said that in there this morning. You know, we don't want the people, y'all are going to hear this for the next month. Don't fall asleep because somebody said there's going to be low hurricanes. It doesn't matter if it's 1, doesn't matter if it's 50. It only takes one hurricane and we have to be prepared. So prepare today. You know, as the citizens are out there telling them our message is keep your drainage areas clean, keep your brush clean. If you're going to clean out, cut trees down, stuff like that, do it today. Don't wait till the hurricanes in the Gulf. You know, any type of work you can do on your house, whether you're going to do shutters, if you're going to take out insurance, right now's the time. Don't wait till there's something in the Gulf because they won't sell you the insurance. So again, we thank you all for coming. And with that, I'm going to introduce the Sheriff Eddie Guerra, who's also say a couple of words.
Real quick, I mean, this is a, excuse me, I got a cold, but this is a hurricane conference, but also, this is also a conference where a lot of these entities can come together and, you know, build relationships with all of our partners that help us in these disasters. And one thing that we're looking at in this conference is the emergency manager was thinking outside the box, and he's put together a little conference that we're bringing together some of the elected officials tomorrow, talk about mass casualties. We're going to put together a plan for having mass casualties here, and how. So we've got my office, the constable's office, the JP's office. We're coming here together. We're all going to start get in one room, and we're going to start talking about some mass casualties scenarios and playing those things out and being prepared. And you know, I'm not going to sit here and reiterate what the emergency manager said about the hurricane preparedness, but these conferences, great that we bring them down here to our area. Some of our partners that we have helping us here don't have the resources that can send some of these people up to the state conference. So these are good things, and we appreciate the state coming down here and helping us fund these conferences for us. So it gives us a good opportunity for everybody to come together and build relationships and plan these events. And so we'll be better prepared. So thank you all. Go ahead.
Do you have any other information that you already get tomorrow as far as the
I don't have anything with me prepared.
No, actually, it's we're trying to put a plan together, or we're working on a plan. We've been working on it probably the last year or so, and one of the components is to get input from the law enforcement and the judge community. Our health department has been working. They've got a team working on it. And until we find out tomorrow, get them in the room and have them talk about their input, then we'll have a better idea of what their part's going to be. We don't want to just put it together and tell them this is it. We want to put something together and make sure that they're a part of it. You know, this whole meeting is about inclusion.
Well, thank you. I'll introduce you to McAllen City Attorney, Mr. Kevin Pagan, who also is the McAllen, the Emergency Manager Coordinator.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Kevin Pagan, City of McAllen. I just want to pick up on a couple things that were said, and then the question about preparedness by telling a little bit of an anecdote. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, one of the things that we became concerned about in this area was the possibility we might need to do mass evacuations. And sure enough, the following year, although thank God the storm that we were dealing with, I still remember the name, Hurricane Dean, it didn't actually arrive here. It changed course, but in the run-up to that particular storm, we had to invoke what at that time was our plan for mass evacuation, and that involved bringing 1,000 buses from all over the state and the nation, and actually they came here to the McAllen Convention Center. And and again, thank God the storm didn't come here, but it was a tremendous challenge in logistics to bring that number of buses to potentially transport people that might need to have been transported out. Now, why do I share that story? Because it's the same way with each element of emergency management and response. This year we're focusing on mass casualties, hopefully not mass fatalities, but a situation where there are a large number of people that are injured and killed. And there are lots and lots of moving parts. If you think about it, the healthcare system that exists day to day, just take one component, for example, ambulances. Well, there are enough ambulances in this region to handle the normal flow of patients to and from nursing homes, to and from the hospitals, 911. But if you suddenly throw into that system a factor of 100 or 200 or 1,000 or more people, you can see that those resources are going to be stretched to the limit. And so how are we going, and that's just one component, transportation of critically injured people. There's also the possibility that none of us like to think about, that you might have large numbers of people that were killed, and how to deal with that in a healthful, safe way is, it can be overwhelming, and the time for us to plan for that is now. And we do what we always do in emergency management. We hope and pray for the best. We hope this never happens, but we plan for the worst case scenarios. So the purpose of these conferences is to make sure that if those types of things happen, that the elected officials at the county level, like the sheriff here and others, are aware of what we're doing. They're on board with the planning that we have. They give their input. Ultimately, they're responsible to the voters and the citizens for their actions. And so that's why we feel it's so important to prepare for these things. Speaking on behalf of the city, let me add this. Starting with, in particular, our former mayor, Richard Cortez, but continue with Mayor Darling, we operate by this principle. Emergencies do not recognize city limits. And so when we're preparing and we're responding, we respond and prepare as if we're one group of one community, which is what we are. You know, a hurricane's not going to say, oh wait, there's the far McAllen city limit, let me stop here. And so I am particularly appreciative of folks like Oscar, the sheriff, the county judge, and others that, and my mayor, who allow us to prepare as a single community and not get into these territorial issues that could otherwise appear. So I hope that's a little more answer to the question, but be happy to answer any questions you might otherwise have as well. Thank you.